even going to come out at this point. Tatum rises over Durant, hits again!
They're cheering him here in Detroit. They are seeing a show.
And they should have been cheering him. Welcome to Celtics Postgame Live, brought to you by your New England Ford dealers, Tom Giles, Chris Forsberg. I'm in for Amina Smith. And Eddie House just laughing because Jayson Tatum going for 43 points, season high, 10 rebounds to go with that, Eddie. And, yeah, that was fun to watch.
Yeah, I was laughing at the coach. He was calling Joe Dumars, Bill Laimbeer. He was asking for James Edwards, John Sally. They were looking. The player was asking where's Isaiah Thomas at. They was calling for everybody on that play right there. That's what made me laugh. When I seen it, I start cracking up, and I can't stop laughing at it right now because I don't care who they calling. Ain't no helping that.
Celtics former assistant Jerome Allen was desperate for anyone to come help, and Tatum made sure he gave him an earful afterward. Can we bookmark this game? Because every time we have the MVP, it's like everyone says, oh, Tatum can't be the MVP. Luke is so good, and look at his supporting cast. Celtics were missing an entire starting five worth of talent tonight, and Jayson Tatum went out there on the second night of a back-to-back, played 40-plus minutes, and absolutely carried them to a win that at times didn't seem so assured. And like, to me, it's a two-man conversation right now. It's Giannis and it's Tatum, and because of the impact on both ends. And we'll see. Like, this is the way that Jayson Tatum gets to the finish line of an MVP conversation. He plays in every game. He's only missed time because of COVID. He's a gamer. He wants to be out there. He wants to play to the final minutes of this. And he leads his team to victories on nights where you just don't have any other option and gets them to the finish line. It's a two-man race to me right now. I know it's early, but it's just so crazy what he's doing.
He had 28 points in the second half. 28 points. And meanwhile, Jayson Tatum actually standing by with Scal.
All right, first, let's get into your teammates today. First of all, we'll get into you in a second. How about the performance with guys out, guys stepping up from Smart, Grant, the bench? What is it like to be out there with those guys?
I mean, you know, being in the NBA 82 games, there's going to be weird days like, you know, where we got a lot of guys out for different kind of reasons. And it just gives guys the opportunity to step up. And those are the fun games where you just got to figure it out. It's not your conventional way of how we normally play or the guys in normal rotations, but for them guys to step up tonight and get a win on a back-to-back against whoever we play is tough. And I was extremely proud of everybody the way we competed.
So let's talk about you for a second. Going into a game like this, knowing that you're going to be shorthanded, you have to go in with a different mindset?
Be aggressive, find a way to win. You know, we got in late last night, back-to-back. You know, whatever the circumstances were, all that matters tonight is that we won or not. And that's all I was thinking, regardless how many points or whatever, find a way to win.
Now, when you have the ability to go to the post, take it off the dribble, shoot the three, catch and shoot, off the screen, like how do you pick? What do you do? Is it a long-term thing?
Split-second decisions. Finding an advantage, and you got to make it, it's all reaction, right? Reacting how the defense is set, they blitzing, somebody coming to help, reject the screen, see if his feet is up or not. It's all quick, and trust your instincts, try to make the right play.
When you're out there playing, are you seeing that different now than you have in the past?
Yeah, the game has slowed down a lot for me from this year to last year, the year before that, as it should. And I put a lot of work in, and I'm just getting, I'm growing. I'm playing more games. I'm just learning each and every one I play. And you know, you should get better with time.
All right, thanks, Jayson. Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
All right, so let's get into it now because, and Scal kind of pointing it out there, Jayson Tatum, so many different ways that he can score the ball. It's like the Cheesecake Factory menu, just the number of ways that he can do it, Forsberg. But, Eddie, it seemed to me like in the third quarter, you know, Tatum set up Sam Hauser, Peyton Pritchard for open threes, and they missed those. And then it's almost like he just decided, you know what, I'm just going to take over from this point, and he did that.
Well, I think he recognized again. This is not. I mean, he had 30 against them a few days ago. You know, not too long ago, and so he realized he's the best player out on the court. And with guys being out, this is an opportunity for not only other players, but other opportunity to show like this is my team. I could actually put you guys on my back, and I can control the game. Like he said, if we listen to when he talks, man, the one thing that I peep is that his maturation experience that he's going through right now, we're witnessing it. Remember, he was so young when he came into the league. The game is just now slowing down, and he's only 24 years old. imagine what it's going to be like 2 years from now, 3 years from now, when he really comes into his grown man and to his prime, because that's when people really get into their prime, is around the 25, 26, 27, 28-year-old body and things like that and mindset. To me, it's scary, and it's great to witness. It's great to see because he has been putting in that work.
If this isn't his prime, that's a scary thought for the rest of the NBA. You mentioned that Cheesecake Factory menu. We sit there and it's big. You got to go through pages and pages and try and decide what you're having, Giles. Tatum gets to order off everything. He's like, I'm gonna do some wings. I'm gonna do the salad. He gets a little bit of everything. And then he's still got room for the cheesecake at the end. So it's amazing what he can do and the way he has just evolved as a player, getting other people involved, rebounding. I still think the defense is criminally underrated. The fact that he can dig in and sort of lead you on that end. He's probably been their best overall defender without Rob Williams out there. And his two-way impact, it's just tangible. I mean, he's even committed now to throwing the lob to Grant Williams, which years ago he never would have done. But now this mature Jayson Tatum is willing to throw Grant that lob.
All right, let's look at some of the numbers here because it's what he's been doing. And by the way, the fourth straight 30-plus point game, and you're looking at him. Oh, I mean, what he did against John in the Grizzlies on Monday, and then to follow that up with that was like a ho-hum 31 that he had against Detroit a few days ago when you compare it to what he's done the last couple of nights here. But yeah, we talk about him being top 5, and there you go. Mark Hazlett saying he's not 5, 4, 3, or 2. He's number 1. And Scal, I'm going to bring you in here because I know you brought it up on the broadcast as well. You said this is the best player on the planet, and he certainly looked like that tonight.
You know why I keep going back to that is because I don't think he has a weakness in his game, and the way he's processing the game is at a high level. All those guys are all good. All these top players, the top 10, everyone can make arguments, but Tatum's doing it every night, just on a back-to-back. And we got in, 3 o'clock in the morning, Tatum delivers. Tatum delivers with aggressiveness going to the basket. He moves it. He beats you with the pass, beats you on the block, beats you with the catch and shoot. They had a play where he ran off screens. Guys can't get into his airspace. They drive him. They sag off him. He shoots them. So when you look at all that, I'm going to be sticking to my guns, and it's going to take the rest of the world to catch up. But eventually people are going to realize that this is the MVP, and we're seeing an MVP season.
Eddie, where do you stand on that?
Well, I stand right now at what he's doing and the record that we have, and then what he's doing for not only himself, but for everybody else. He's making everybody else better. Right now, honestly, and speaking on this, I have to still give Giannis the nod on being the best player in the world. I know Giannis has a deficiency as far as his jump shot, but he makes the shots when you need them and things like that. But is Jayson Tatum nudging him and saying, hey, man, I'm trying to get some of that food right now. You ain't just about to stand in line in front of me you ain't about to cut me in line. No, I'm about to be right there with him. So, yeah, I agree with Scal that he's making his way up there, and he is definitely in the conversation for that. But for me, I still think that Giannis is that guy right there that Jayson Tatum needs to be chasing, not only for what I just said because of what he does, but he does have that championship. And that's the one thing that I think that will put Jayson Tatum over the top of all those guys. Luka got so many deficiencies defensively that, he's great offensively, but, he has the ball in his hands all the time. So I won't give him that credit. But at the same time, I think when you look at what Jayson Tatum has done on the defensive end and the growth he's had, he's right there with them, and he's nudging elbows with Giannis right now.
And, Giles, we talked about it on the podcast this week. The roadmap is the Celtics probably got to finish ahead of the Bucks or have, some sort of something that tips it in his favor. But for me, it comes back to, Tatum wants to be out there. You see that wrist all wrapped up.
Yep.
He could take a game or two off if he needed to. But no, he's like a gamer. He wants to be out there. He wants to play in crunch time and put this game away. He wants to be out there, and that matters. Scout brings it up all the time, total points. When we get to the end of the year, I'd be stunned if he's not the leader overall in the NBA. And so those things matter to voters.
Yeah, Scal, you just talked to him after the game, and it felt like he was more than happy to get out there and play 40-plus minutes in this one, whereas you could see other veterans in the NBA saying, it's just not our night. We're down 2 to a bad team at halftime. But he's out there grinding away, putting in the minutes, and then dropping 43 when he needs to.
Because he can drop 43 and he can pick and choose his spots. There are plenty of times because he is highly skilled. And this is where the argument can come into play with Eddie about Giannis. Giannis has to go pedal to the metal. If he can't, he can't beat you with his skill. Tatum can come out here and I'm not doing this from a disrespectful standpoint. I'm saying it from a like elite standpoint. He could be in third gear chilling and drop 15 in a quarter because of his skill level, his ability to read the game. So we saw it the other night in Detroit. He didn't have it. He was sluggish in the first half. Bang, bang, bang. 21 in the third quarter, all with that sweet jumper. It doesn't take effort to do that. He don't even have to run around screens like Steph Curry does. Run from one side to the other, give it up, get it back, run around. He don't have to do any of that stuff. He just has to give me the ball, let me do my thing, give me some space to work. And if whatever you do, I got a counter for it. So when I say he's the best in the world, because he can play in these games, he can play 41 minutes because he's chilling in third gear with occasionally going to overdrive and then downshifting down to second.
All right, well, he seemed like he was in fifth gear, like the way he's scoring in the third quarter there.